Hey Iowa, it's been quite the week. I was privileged to invite the Kidd family from Des Moines to the State of the Union and highlight the critical need to address the opioid crisis in our country. In the House, we passed bipartisan legislation to protect our communities from this administration's self-inflicted border crisis. And finally, we announced our first Veterans Resource Fair to help veterans get the resources they need. So let's get started with this week's Sit Rep. To begin, I want to share the story of Sebastian Kidd, a normal Iowa high school student. He competed in football, wrestling, track, and golf. He loved to fish, skateboard, and hang out with his friends. Most importantly, he loved his parents. He was also battling with depression and anxiety, and despite being prescribed medication by his doctor, he was persuaded to purchase drugs on social media. He thought he was buying a Percocet, but instead he was sold deadly fentanyl. Sebastian took this pill, and he didn't wake up the next morning. Sebastian's parents, Derek and Kathy, were my guests for this year's State of the Union address, and I am honored that they are sharing their story with both Iowans and the country to raise awareness about the dangers of fentanyl and its impact on our communities. Unfortunately, too many Iowans have experienced a tragic loss like Derek and Kathy. I'll continue to fight in Congress for bipartisan solutions to address both the border crisis and the opioid epidemic right here on the home front. It's wreaking havoc across our community. Second, this week the House of Representatives passed the Laken-Riley Act to hold the administration accountable for their complete failure to secure our border and protect communities across the country. By now, we've all heard the tragic story of a nursing student, Laken-Riley, who was brutally murdered by an illegal migrant who had previously been arrested for violent crimes. Unfortunately, her story is becoming all too common. It is one we know well in Iowa after the tragic loss of Sarah Root and Molly Tibbetts. Our bipartisan legislation requires ICE to detain illegal immigrants that commit crimes and empowers state governments to do more to keep all of our communities safe. Finally, as a veteran of the Air Force and a current member of the Air Force Reserve, I know there is very little that's more important than supporting our men and women who have served our country in uniform. And that's why I'm excited to announce our Veterans Resource Fair on March 23rd at the Iowa Gold Star Museum in Johnson, Iowa. Whether you've recently returned home from a military deployment, are thinking of transitioning, or have retired from the military altogether, if you need more information for yourself, for a friend, or a loved one, I encourage you to join us and learn more about the resources that are available to veterans. We'll have caseworkers and counselors on site. Iowa, it's a tremendous honor to serve you in Congress, and I promise to keep fighting on your behalf. So until next week, I'll keep up the fight today.